Arda Güler, the roller coaster journey of Real Madrid's Wonderkid. Today's story on Football Uncovered is about Arda Güler, Real Madrid's Wonderkid. In the high-stakes world of football, where dreams are made and shattered in the blink of an eye, few stories capture the imagination quite like that of Arda Güler. Arda Güler would be the one, born from the busy streets of Ankara, en route to Santiago Bernabeu, via the tale of a very talented but full of relentless pursuit of greatness. Our story begins in the heart of Turkey, where a young Arda first fell in love with the beautiful game. As a child, he'd spent so many hours kicking the ball around and fantasizing that one day he too would be gracing the world's biggest stages. Little did he know that fate had plans far beyond his wildest imagination. When he was just 14 years old, his extraordinary talent had already shone through and caught the attention of Fenerbahce scouts. His second home became the youth academy of the club, where he came to be coached and where his raw talents were nurtured, and where he was molded into a force to be reckoned with. As he rose through the ranks, whispers began to circulate about whether this could be the next big thing in Turkish football. But people quickly started taking notice of what this great prodigy was doing, not just at home, but also in elite clubs around Europe. The pressure was mounting on Güler, who was still just a boy thrust into a man's world. In 2021, still at the tender age of 16, Arda made his professional debut with Fenerbahce. The professional football world waited with bated breath, eager to see if the hype was real. And oh, did he deliver! With smooth skills, visionary passing, and a left foot that looked straight out of a magic show, Güler announced himself on the big stage in a marvelous and grandeur fashion. As his stardom rose, so did the comparisons. They called him the Turkish Messi. The next inevitable comparison proved both a burden and a blessing. The more brilliant and stunning the display on the pitch, every goal or assist brought but one thing to people's minds. How could he, a mere teenager, ever stack up to such a glorified comparison? But Güler just looked unconcerned as he continued displaying his brilliance while scoring for Fenerbahce, becoming the youngest ever in the UEFA Europa Conference League. The football world seemed to be at his feet, and the inevitable transfer speculations began to swirl. Enjoying the video? Remember to like the video and subscribe to Football Uncovered for all the latest football content. So, after a couple of impressive performances, the rumour mill went into a real overdrive in the summer of 2023. Barcelona, the club of his idol Messi, was on it. Everyone said he was in the race, from Arsenal to Liverpool. But in the end, it was Real Madrid, the absolute kings of European football, who at long last would secure his signature. That transfer saga was a real emotional rollercoaster for Güler and his followers of the beautiful game. From being on a one-day destined to be at Barcelona list, and then the next day being earmarked for a place in the Premier League. But when Real Madrid came calling, there was only ever going to be one outcome. For a reported fee of 20 million euros, Arda Güler became a Galactico. The transfer to Madrid was something he'd always dreamed of. Above all, it signified the start of a new chapter that would most certainly be challenging, because he was not that big fish in a small pond anymore. He was swimming with the sharks now, fighting for space with some of the world's great footballers. The burden of performing at Real Madrid is great for any player, let alone a teenager who carried the hopes of a nation on his shoulders. The Spanish press analysed his every move on and off the pitch. Would he be able to withstand the rigors of La Liga? Would he be able to hack it under the intense spotlight? The first season in Madrid was actually very hard for Güler. Because of the injuries, his adaptation and improvements were noticeably slowing. He was losing playing time, and with every missed match, the doubts about the possibility of making it at the big level grew. The whispers had started. Had Real Madrid made an error? Would the Turkish Messi be destined to be an unfulfilled talent yet again? But those who were doubtful of the teenager underestimated the mental strength of Arda Güler. Hard work and determination made up for Güler's babyface and shy demeanor. He learned a lot from his much more experienced partners and just refused to let the lows get to him. And the magic of Güler started to be seen as the 2023-2024 season went by. A magnificent assist here, a moment of sensational brilliance there. With just his performances on the pitch, he'd won over the notoriously difficult Bernabeu crowd. Off the pitch, Güler was also forced to submit to the new country and the new culture. Being a Real Madrid player, he was really marinated in everything. Anything he would type on social media was contemplated, every public appearance scrutinized. Keeping a perfect image while still somehow being a normal teenager definitely amounted to a lot of pressure. But amid all of it, Güler's love for the game never wavered. Peace for him was on the training pitch, where he took out his frustration by trying to be a better player. Hard work on the practice pitch did not pass manager Carlo Ancelotti, who started to put more faith in the young Turk as the year went on. As the Euros of summer 2024 approached, Güler had the eyes of the nation fixed upon him. Could he be the spark to light up Turkey's campaign? All the weight of the nation's expectations lay on his young shoulders. And the championship actually justified Arda Güler. The defenders were fooled as he danced through before unleashing a thunderbolt into the top corner. The goal announced his arrival on the international stage in the most emphatic manner. The deeper the tournament went, the more impact Güler made with every evolving game. He was not the youngster with promises only anymore. He was now the heartbeat of his side, dictating the play and creating chances as and when he wanted on his day. The weight on his shoulders from the comparisons with Messi was no longer an albatross. He was increasingly ready to meet that gauntlet. The match against England in the quarterfinals was so fierce. In a level scoring of 1-1 and almost everybody in the field being aware that the match was nearing its end, Güler was at it yet again, coming up with another of his inspirational moments. One too fast on the edge of the box, drop the shoulder to beat the last guy, coolly place it past the keeper. Turkey were through to the semis, and all talk was about Arda Güler. This fairy tale would come to an end in the semi-final though, as Turkey was beaten by a very good German squad. But Güler's performances have been captivating the imagination of fans the world over. He returned to Madrid not as a hopeful youngster anymore, but as a fully fledged star. With his head high, Güler struts forward into the future. He withstood everything, some initial blows, a barrage of criticism, and he proved that he belonged on that elite level. The tag Turkish Messi no longer feels like a burden. Rather, it feels more of a prophecy, waiting to be fulfilled. However, this is just a football story about Güler. It's proof of how perseverance works, how one could stay the same under immense pressure. From the streets of Ankara to the bright lights of the Bernabeu, Arda Güler has never lost sight of the pure joy that football brings him. One thing's for sure, at every ball he dribbles with silken skills, and at every other moment of magic, the best is yet to come from Arda Güler. The rollercoaster ride is far from over, and football fans around the world are strapped in for what promises to be an exhilarating journey. This is where legends are born and myths are created. The same applies to Arda Güler, who's penning his very own. It's a story of talent, determination, and audacity to dream big. If the ride until now is any indication, well, we're in for a hell of a ride. It was almost like a curtain closing on some chapter of Arda Güler's journey, and one thing's for sure, his story is just beginning. With the world at his feet and many more unopened doors ahead, this Turkish Wonderkid never stops surprising everybody by inspiring millions of people around the world. Whether he lives up to the prophecy of becoming the next Messi remains to be seen, but one thing's for sure, he is a name we'll keep hearing: Arda Güler.